Welcome students. Today in this video I will discuss Faraday's laws of electrolysis with you. Faraday given two laws related to the quantitative aspect of electrolysis. So you can learn this law, you can have a grasp over the concept if you know what is electrolysis, and then we can learn about the quantitative aspect of electrolysis. Then we will start discussing about the Faraday's laws of electrolysis, which are two laws, first law of electrolysis and the second law of electrolysis. So let us start with the video. So first I will tell you what is electrolysis. So electrolysis is the decomposition of a substance by passing electricity through its aqueous or molten solution. We have a substance. If we want to decompose it with the help of electricity, then it is called as electrolysis. But this is only possible if the substance upon dissolving in water or in the molten form gives some ions, so that the electricity can pass through its solution, or we can say in its molten form. So how we perform this electrolysis? For this we use a container called as the electrolytic cell. In this electrolytic cell there are two electrodes. The electrode which is connected with the positive terminal of battery is called as anode, while the electrode which is connected with the negative terminal of battery, it is called as the cathode. We can simply say the electrode which attracts the anions toward itself, which attracts anions, as anions are negatively charged particle, so the rod must have positive charge. So that's why we have connected this with the positive terminal of battery. In the same way, the rod, as clear from its name, which attracts the cation of the solution toward it. So as the cations are carrying positive charge, so the rod must carry negative charge. That's why we have connected this with the negative terminal of battery. So we can say there are two electrodes, one is anode and other is cathode. Then we dip these two electrodes into the solution of electrolyte. You can take aqueous solution or you can take molten form of the substance also. So with the help of battery we have connected the two rods. When electricity is passing through the solution, decomposition occurs. So this is called as electrolysis. So during this electrolysis, the substances are produced over the surface of these electrodes. There may be deposition of the substance, or there may be the liberation of the substance. If some gaseous substance is formed during the decomposition, it will be liberated. We will use the word liberation here. And if there is a formation of a solid substance over the surface of electrode, then we will call it as deposition. So if you want to know the weights of these substances which are deposited over these electrodes, or we can say which are produced over these electrodes, this is called as the quantitative aspect of electrolysis. That is how much quantity of the substance will be produced over the surface of electrode. So you can easily find the value of this substance deposited or liberated over the surface of electrode with the help of Faraday's laws of electrolysis. For this determination of the weight of the substance deposited over the surface of electrode, Faraday has given two laws. One is called as the first law of electrolysis and the second is called as the second law of electrolysis. So we will start with an example. Then after discussing example, you will become able to write the statement of the law. So first I am taking example. We are starting with first law of electrolysis. So what is first law? We will explain this, then at the end of discussion we will try to write its statement, which is usually given the initial part of the books, initial part of the article. So instead of writing the statement in initial discussion, so we will drive the relation at the end of this discussion. So how we drive this? We will take example of NaCl here. So let the electrolyte is NaCl. We dissolve NaCl in water. We can say aqueous solution of NaCl is formed, and we are passing electricity through the aqueous solution of NaCl. That is, we are performing electrolysis of aqueous solution of NaCl. So in this solution, there will be sodium ion, chloride ions moving in the solution. So when the electricity is on, sodium ion will start moving toward the negatively charged electrode, that is cathode, while the chloride ion, they will move toward the positively charged electrode, that is anode. Then we know that over the surface of anode there is always oxidation, while over the surface of cathode there is always a reduction. So when electricity is passing through the solution, the both process, that is oxidation and reduction, will occur. In other words, we can say redox reaction will occur. During this redox reaction, there will be the formation of some substances over the surface of electrodes. How we find the quantity of these? So first I am talking about the cathode. So on the surface of cathode there are sodium ions. When sodium ion move toward the cathode, one sodium ion with the gain of one electron produces one sodium atom. So if we are going further, if we have 6.022 10 raised to power 23 sodium ions, there is the need of 6.022 10 raised to power 23 electrons, and with the gain of these electrons there will be the deposition of 6.022 10 raised to power 23 sodium atoms over the surface of cathode. So as we know, this number 6.022 10 raised to power 23 is also called as 1 mole. So we can write, with the gain of 1 mole of electrons, there is the deposition of 1 mole of sodium atoms. So further we know 1 mole of sodium atoms have mass equal to the gram atomic mass of sodium, which is 23 gram. So here we can say 1 mole of electron when passes through the circuit, then there is a deposition of 23 gram of sodium. So if we calculate the charge carried by 1 mole of electron, then how we can determine the value? We will multiply this with the charge present over 1 electron, which is 1.602 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. If we calculate this value, then we can write this is 96487 coulomb. This deposits 23 gram of sodium. Or we can say, sometime usually we write it in the whole number value, that is 96500 coulomb. It deposits 23 gram of sodium. This 96500 is also called as 1 Faraday. So 1 Faraday deposit 23 gram of sodium over the surface of cathode if we pass electricity through the aqueous solution of NaCl. Similarly, if we are doubling this quantity of electricity, that is we are passing 2 Faraday, then there is a deposition of 46 gram of sodium, and so on. You can calculate. Similarly, if we determine, if we determine the deposition of chloride here, then mass of chlorine that will be liberated over the surface of anode we can determine in the same way. Here we are talking about anode and chloride ions with the loss of one electron, they will form one chlorine atom. We will write it in the molecular form, that is 1/2 Cl2, because the cancellation of these two, it will result in the formation of one Cl atom. So we can say if there is one ion, it gains one electron. So with the gain of one electron, there is the formation of one Cl atom over the surface of anode. So further we can say if we have 1 mole Cl negative ions, they will gain 1 mole of electrons. Further, we know the charge carried by 1 mole of electron is, we have already calculated, 96500 coulomb, which is also called as 1 Faraday. So there will be the formation of, we can say, with the 96500 coulomb of electricity, there will be the formation of 1 mole of Cl atoms. So we can write like this: 1 Faraday of electricity will deposit or liberate chlorine equal to 1 mole of Cl atoms. Or we can further write 1 Faraday of electricity will produce the mass of chlorine, that is its gram atomic mass, 35.5 gram. So with this we can determine the weight of chlorine liberated over the surface of anode if we pass electricity through the aqueous solution of NaCl. So this is called as the quantitative aspect of electrolysis, and for this, if you are doubling this quantity of electricity, that is you are passing 2 Faraday, then the weight of chlorine that will be produced over the surface of anode will be double of this amount. We can say it is 71 now. Similarly, we can perform this calculation in certain other examples also. So how you will write the statement of this law? We can write like this: with the help of quantity of electricity we are passing through the aqueous solution, we can determine the mass of the substance that will be liberated or deposited over the surface of these two electrodes. So for this, Faraday given a law. So what is the statement of this law? So from this calculation we have known that if we are passing the quantity of electricity, there is a deposition of some substance, and the amount of this substance goes on increasing as we go on increasing the quantity of electricity. So how we state this law? So according to this law, we can write like this: according to this law, the amount of substance deposited or liberated over the surface of electrode during electrolysis is directly proportional to quantity of electricity passed through the solution. So we can calculate, let W is the weight of substance deposited by quantity of electricity Q. So we can write W, it is directly proportional to Q. So W is the weight of substance deposited or liberated, and Q is the quantity of electricity passed through the solution. So we can further write W is equal to Z into Q. Here Z is called as electrochemical equivalent. So the quantity of electricity further depends upon two factors. One is the current in ampere passing through the solution. If we are increasing the current in amperes, then quantity of electricity can increase. At the same time, you can increase the quantity of electricity by passing the current for a longer time also. So you can say Q depends upon two factors. One is current in amperes, and second is the time for which the current is passed through the solution. So we can write Q is equal to I into T. So here I is the current in ampere and T is the time for which the current is passed through the solution. So if we put these two values in this equation, we will obtain a final relation Z into I into T. So this is the mathematical form for the first law given by Faraday for the quantitative aspect of electrolysis. Similarly, we can start with the second law, that is also for the quantitative aspect of electrolysis, and in that law we will start with this example. So this is the second law I am starting with. So first we will consider the example. So here we will connect the two solutions with the same quantity of electricity in series. That we have two electrolytic cells and both these are connected to same source of electricity. We can say same battery here. So on this side this is the positive terminal, on this side this is the negative terminal. So we have connected the two electrolytic cells in series and we are filling these two with the solutions of two different electrolytes. For example, in the first cell I am adding the aqueous solution of copper sulfate, and in the second cell I am adding the aqueous solution of silver nitrate. So it contains copper 2 ions and sulfate ions, while in the second there are silver ions and nitrate ions. So when we will pass electricity, then copper ion will start moving toward the cathode in here. In the second cell, the silver ion will start moving toward the cathode, and where they will undergo the reduction and deposition will occur over the surface of electrode. Then how we can calculate the weight of these two substances? First we will calculate the weight of these two substances found over the surface of two electrodes in two electrolytic cells. Then we will start writing about the second statement, the second law of electrolysis given by Faraday. So how we can calculate? So here in this case, when one copper ion will move toward the surface of cathode, it will gain two electrons. So one ion gains two electrons and changes to one atom. So as we have calculated in the first law, so similarly if we have 6.022 10 raised to power 23 copper ions, they will gain 2 into 6.022 10 raised to power 23 electrons to form 1 mole of copper atoms. So we can say 1 mole of copper ion with the gain of 2 mole of electron produce 1 mole of the copper atom over the surface of cathode in the first electrolytic cell. So we can write as 1 mole of electron when passes through the circuit. We take it as 1 farad of the electricity. So we can say here, with the passage of 2 farad of electricity, there is the deposition of 1 mole of copper atoms. So we know 1 mole of copper atom has mass 63.5 gram. So we can say with the passage of 2 farad of electricity, there is a deposition of 63.5 gram of copper. If we reduce this quantity of electricity, that is, we are passing 1 farad, then the amount of substance deposited will be half of this. So we can write like this, 31.75 gram here. So we are considering that from this battery we are passing 1 farad of electricity for the same time. For a definite time we are passing 1 farad of electricity, then this much amount of electricity will deposit 31.75 gram of copper, which is equal to its equivalent weight also. We know the equivalent weight of an element is equal to its atomic weight divided by number of electrons lost or gained by one atom or ion of the element. So if we divide the atomic weight of an element with the number of electrons lost or gained by one atom or ion of the element, so with this we can calculate the equivalent weight of the element. For example, we have copper here, so we can calculate equivalent weight of copper 63.5 divided by number of electrons gained by copper after its deposition over the surface of cathode is 2, so we will divide this by 2. So here again 31.75 gram is obtained. So this is the equivalent weight of copper, which is also called as a 1 gram equivalent. So we can say from here, from this calculation, that when we are passing a quantity of 1 farad through this solution, there is a deposition of the weight of copper over the surface of this cathode, which is equal to its equivalent weight. Similarly, if we calculate for the second cell, which is connected with the first in the series, so here the silver ion will gain 1 electron to change into the silver atom. So if we are passing, we have 1 mole of the silver ions, they will gain 1 mole of electrons, and there will be the deposition of 1 mole of silver atoms. Now we are perfect in calculating this amount as we have done in the first as well as in the second also. So we can directly write here 1 farad of electricity will deposit 108 gram of silver. So we can say 108 is the atomic weight of the silver, which is equal to the mass of 1 mole of the silver atoms. So that's why I have written here 108 gram. So 1 farad of electricity is depositing 108 gram of silver. So again, if we calculate the equivalent weight of silver, it is equal to 108, that is its atomic weight, divided by the number of electron gained by it. Here it is 1, so we can say 108 gram again. So from this we can again say, when we are passing the quantity of electricity, that is 1 farad, there is a deposition of 108 gram of the silver, which is equal to its equivalent weight also. So from this we conclude that when the same quantity of electricity, that is 1 farad, is passing through the solutions of two different electrolytes connected in series, the weight of the substance that will deposit over the surface of the electrode will be equal to the equivalent weight of the element. So in first case there was copper and there was a deposition of 31.75 gram, which is its equivalent weight, and with the same quantity of electricity there is a deposition of silver over the surface of cathode in the second cell, which is also 108 gram, that is its equivalent weight. So how we can state this law? We can write the statement of this law from this conclusion that according to this law, when same quantity of electricity is passed through the solutions of different electrolytes connected in series, the amount of substance deposited is equal to its equivalent weight. So as we have calculated the amount of copper deposited over the surface of cathode in the first cell, it is equal to its equivalent weight, which is 31.75, and in the second case again the mass of silver deposited over the surface of cathode is also equal to its equivalent weight. So with this we have discussed the second law. First we have calculated, then we have written its statement. So according to these two laws, if you have the very clear about the statement of these two laws, then you can easily determine the quantitative aspect of electrolysis, that how much the weight of substance will be deposited over the surface of electrodes under different conditions. If we are connecting the different electrolyte in series, then we can calculate their weight with the help of the second statement, second law. If we have the only one cell, there is the electrolysis of single substance, we can calculate the weight of the substance deposited or liberated with the help of the first law. So there are some short tricks with the help of which you can easily solve the quantitative aspect of electrolysis in the objective questions also. So we can say Z is equal to, Z is called as electrochemical equivalent. Electrochemical equivalent Z can be directly calculated if we divide the equivalent weight of substance, that is element, with 96500 coulomb. So these are the short methods by which you can easily solve the objective questions. So in some cases, in some numerical, you can directly calculate the electrochemical equivalent by dividing the equivalent weight of a substance of an element with 96500 coulomb. As we know, 1 farad of electricity deposit weight of substance we have just calculated, which is equal to the 1 gram equivalent of the substance. So with the help of this we have tried this relation. So similarly we can have another short methods which are very useful in the objective question for the calculation of the weight of the substance deposited over the surface of electrodes. So this we will discuss in the numerical section of this video. So With this, I hope that you have easily retained the concept of Faraday's laws of electrolysis. So, it is very helpful in calculating the quantity of the substance deposited or liberated during the electrolysis. So, if you have any doubt regarding this, if you have any query related to the Faraday's law, you can add in the comment section of this video. So, if you have not subscribed my channel, please do subscribe for more educational videos related to the chemistry. Goodbye to all of you.